Ask us anything. Uh-oh.
I'm trying to get Devin.
He just found out the topic.
Oh!
So we didn't know. We didn't know. We were
didn't we know?
conflicted.
Maybe we knew.
Oh, we knew.
Maybe we knew, and that's why we went where we went.
I think
Maybe
that
we
is
knew
the
this was
reason.
what the people want to talk about today.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Hey, this
we
this is a Giving Tuesday edition of Sunrise Extra. What we're giving to you today is pure honesty. You ask a question, we'll give you an honest answer.
Drew's
Almost.
dating history.
And I'll tell you what, I do like the fact that you put in almost anything. That saves us because we will be honest in our answers. But if we choose not to answer a question, so be it.
Yeah.
Plead the
there
fifth.
You go.
well, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, ask us anything. We'll laugh at the questions, and many we will try
What
to
a
answer.
weird day. So this one started out kind of like a grumpy pants.
My Lord, what happened to you?
And then like he
happened?
usually comes around about 6 o'clock. He's
Yeah.
got his feet under him after an hour of the show. And
I
it
feel like you
happened.
two
But
should
then it
remember
like
what you do for a
swung
living.
wildly to the other
Went
side.
Manic.
And if any of you beautiful people watch the newscast, because I know a lot of people just watch this and you only
Right.
know us from this, which is great. But you may see my worn sock on Drew's shoulder twice in our newscast.
Well, here, a couple things going on here. Number one, Chris McGinnis, can I thank you for not getting involved in this?
Yeah.
Whatever this is. That's
Yeah, I don't know what
happening
that
here
was.
On either side of me.
Yeah.
I want to remind the two of you that you are journalists by profession. You are not therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, or anything like it. So
No.
you're doing this diagnosis here on the fly as far as what's wrong with me.
Gosh.
Nothing's wrong.
But they've interviewed a lot of
What
therapists
bad
over their
mood?
lives.
Been
I
in a
was-
bad mood
you.
all day.
Wow.
Go ahead.
I have not been in a bad mood all day. That's a false diagnosis. I thought we were going to be honest today on Sunrise Extra. I'm not in a
We are
bad
being
mood.
honest.
Well,
I was
how
re-
would you describe it?
Here's what happens on the show. Behind the scenes, when you're not hearing us actually reading the news, some of us are very focused on what's coming up next. And that's usually how I spend my 5 o'clock hour, focused on what's next. And then we get into the 6 o'clock hour, I kind of know what's coming, and I can loosen up a bit. But I was focused at 5, and I felt like you read my focus as bad mood.
No, it was definitely a bad
You were
mood.
grouchy.
Now, what happens?
Yeah.
What happens later in the show when I'm doing a news story and I turn to you for some fun? And I call you out by name and you just ignore me and you
Yeah.
don't say anything. What's that?
That's called
Was I
cold
drinking
shoulder.
coffee?
No, I think at the moment I said it, you weren't. You went on to drink the coffee. But
That's
you,
correct.
But you went on and literally looked at
that
me.
was my kind of silent protest.
Anyways, the ladies think I'm in some kind of bad mood today.
Oh.
Brian Matthews, our director, saying we actually do have questions. And just to really clear up the sock deal,
Yes.
Nina has like 3 or 4 different pairs of shoes out here every day. Not really, but at least 2. The heels.
I wear
Like a little
a flat,
Ronaldo
and then
over
I
here.
have,
Yeah.
A flat pair that's
show
comfortable.
shoes.
Get along really well.
Show
It's
shoes.
all about shoes.
And so the flat pair had a pair of socks in there today, and I I reached down at one point and grabbed the socks to mess with her a little bit, and she quickly pulled that sock out
Well,
of my
because
hand.
nobody.
So it was. So then later, when she wasn't looking, I put the sock on my shoulder, and I did one of our news stories with the sock on my shoulder, and
We're a very professional organization here.
it
People.
wasn't the most serious news story of the day.
And then we were together on another not serious news story, and I was looking you in the eye, and we were chatting, but on that shoulder, Nina's sock reappeared.
Yes. So, first question. We go to YouTube, Morphman21. Good morning,
Morphin.
Jay, one of our loyal YouTube followers. He says, okay, here you go. What's the most epic fail that happened during a newscast and you still laugh to this day about it?
Oh, wow. So many over the years.
So I feel like I've got lots to choose from because of that
So
little
many
out and
live
about
shots?
segment
Yeah.
we did. You know, when you're in the studio, there is a controlled environment here for the most part. You know,
Thank God.
not to say things can't go off the rails, they do. But when we were out in the field, you know, with no script, things would often kind of go in
Did you
different
ever get the
directions.
wind knocked out of you? Like that one news lady?
I broke my wrist.
You did?
Oh, yeah,
On live television?
I wrote a bull. I'll tell you that story real quick.
Is that funny?
That's not even what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
It's fine. Ross Coleman from Molalla, probably the most famous bull rider that we've ever produced out of Oregon, as far as I can remember. Someone's going to write me down. Back in 1923, Ross Coleman in recent times, one of the most successful bull riders that we have produced out of Oregon. We're at his ranch promoting a bull riding event at the Rose Garden at the time. And Ross tells me, hey, do you want to ride a bull this morning? And I'm thinking, no. Like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
I'll kill myself.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm serious. Do you want to ride a bull? I'm like, I'm serious. No way. Why would I do it? He goes, no, listen, it'll be fine. I'll put you on a bull that basically a young kid who is just learning how to ride bulls would get on when they get started. And for some reason, I trusted this guy. So we get out there. It was February. We're outside. The
Cold.
ground was hard and frozen.
Oh my God.
I get on this bull, and we had some fun with this. I was at a different station at the time, but we really built this up over the course of the morning, all leading up to that final segment at like 8:45 a.m., where I'm going to ride the bull live on TV. And he had gotten me to the point where I wasn't even that nervous. Like, I thought, I'm going to be okay.
Was it like a smallish animal?
Oh, no,
Where did
it was a full-size bull. A full-size bull, Nina.
But he was selling this as a
beginner's bull, like, because sometimes
they get old.
Yeah, well, they get older, or they're just, some bulls are not fit for bull riding. They just don't have that energy, that giddy up and go.
Or
They don't use those in the big shows. This is what I was told was a more docile bull. So I'm on it. He's telling me how to hold the ropes and all that stuff. I've got my legs clinched around the big beast's belly, and I remember
turning into George Costanza and the whale story.
I thought this was a quick story.
if it was 9 feet,
I was looking into the eye of the
so
beast.
I let them go. I said, okay, 1, 2, 3, open it. They opened the chute, and I swear to you, I lasted less than 2 seconds. At first, the bull didn't move, and I thought, oh, he's really not going to do anything. And the minute I got a little bit relaxed, like, it shot out of the chute. It shot out. I'm on it. It took one step down and went up again, and I was off. The photographer who was with me got a still photo of me. I'm literally head over heels.
Yeah.
The bull's butt is up in the air. My feet are in the air. My head is down by its backside. And of course, if you're falling towards the ground, yes, you got to put your hand down to break your face's fall. And it didn't like snap or like, oh, it was just like, ow, that hurt. And then like days later, I'm like, why is it still hurt? I better get it checked. And it was, I had fractured the.
Which is even more bizarre that you then later in your career got trampled by a bull.
No, that was a cow.
Was it a cow?
Yeah.
Oh.
You still got trampled.
Full-size cow.
You
and it was
should have
a big-
learned your lesson.
God.
So anyways, that happened on TV.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mine is when I fell into the sign
That
on
is-
live
Oh
on
my
Sunrise
gosh.
and tigered.
That
I
is-
didn't hurt myself, but
That's
yeah.
a legitimate TV blooper.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like if you just go to
Then
all
they're
time-
like the YouTube people called me or emailed me and they were like, we need your permission. Can we please include this clip on like TV news bloopers 2019 or whatever
Did you
year
get
it
any
was?
royalties from that?
And I said, fine.
Yeah.
So it's on there on YouTube.
And Rod was sitting down and did not get
Rod was
to
sitting
help
in an
you.
Adirondack chair. We were live in front of like a coffee shop in Tigard. And they were starting on me, and I was going to walk up to Rod, just chilling in the chair.
Yeah.
And they had this little mini deck step. I mean, like less than an inch, maybe an inch. And I stubbed my foot on it and tried to.
It is a terrible
I
fall.
tried to catch myself. I didn't hit. There was a sign like right in front of me where I could have really smacked my face,
that's
but I missed it and went down. And Rod stayed seated.
You did.
Well, in fairness, Rod, I don't think he was completely aware that
It was
that
kind
happened.
of
He was
behind
kind of out
him,
as,
yes.
like, you know.
But also, Rod is not the, the chivalrous.
I'll let you
told.
The fact of the matter is, he didn't see it happen, but he did see you down. He still barely made an effort. He's like, his exact words.
Nina,
I think
my
were,
dear.
Nina, dear.
That's right.
What happened? I fell, you jerk.
It was
Anyway.
about this time of year. December, was it a couple years ago? I don't remember. Ashley and Kathy Marshall were anchoring the show. I was on vacation, and I got a text, and
geez.
Ash was saying, you've got to turn on the TV because Drew is doing viewer recipes, and he's lost his front tooth. And I said, what?
That was-
Your front tooth?
I lost a front. Yeah. So this front tooth is not real. It hasn't been real since like 1994. And back in '94, when I had no like health insurance, I had some shady dentist in Philadelphia like fix it for me.
What?
And I went on for like the next 5 or 6 years having uneven front teeth. You know, you had to look closely, but they were not even. It was not a good dental job. And so eventually, I got that thing handled by a dentist here. But they told me like this is not like the all-time permanent fix. There it is. There's the shot of me missing a tooth. So they told me, like, this tooth is not going to last you forever. There are permanent options that are way more expensive, but eventually you'll have to get this replaced.
So you were at this woman's house live.
Yeah, but
in
what
the
happened?
kitchen.
That broke the night before. I'm at the kitchen table with my family, and I think we were having Brenner for dinner. You know, the old breakfast for dinner thing. And I chewed a piece of bacon, and I heard that snap, and my tooth fell out. And Mia's like,
Oh, that
my
would
wife
make
said,
me, like,
you can't go to work tomorrow. You look awful. And I go, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to put this tooth back up in my mouth, and I'm going to do the segment because this viewer is expecting us at their house. And
It
as I'm
just,
doing
like,
the segment,
fit in there?
Well, it did. It fit in there, but it did not stay.
Yeah.
The first time I had to appear live on TV, I opened my mouth and I said like, "Hey guys, we're live this morning in Vancouver," and the tooth just flew out. And they didn't notice it at first. I knew that I was missing a tooth.
Wait, what did it fall into?
The camera panned away, but I said,
Fall into the food?
I went skidding across the floor. But I
Do
just
you
said,
address it right then?
no, because the camera panned away, and they came back to me after the commercial break, and I said, hey, can I
Was
just...
the woman just horrified?
No,
She
they were
was
laughing. They were laughing. I still
Because
hear
she
from
knew
the
the
viewer.
story. You had told her kind of what was up.
No, I didn't give her any warning. I gave her no warning, but I quickly told her what happened. And then when they came back after the commercial, I just came clean. I said, hey, guys, here's what's going on with my tooth. If you don't mind, I'm going to do the rest of the show with no front tooth.
Oh, my gosh.
And that viewer actually reached out to us when we did the viewer recipes last
Just
month.
recently?
And she says, hey, Drew, you're going to keep all your teeth in your mouth this time?
That was good.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Oh my God.
I had something else to tell you. Now I can't remember what it was. Just going back to your deal for a minute.
Yes.
When you fell.
Yes.
Hey, if you find that on YouTube, Nina falling on live TV, it literally looks like someone just, a sniper, took a shot
Took
at
me
you
out
took
because
you
I'm
out.
there and then I'm not
collapsed
there.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it was on a newsreel because my kids were watching YouTube on the big screen at our house one day, watching one of their favorite things, TV bloopers. And sure as heck, Dad, KGW. I'm like, what? The KGW's on here. And I come in and I go, oh, yeah, I was there for that. They were watching you fall on TV.
Oh, well, I'm so glad.
Are there questions from the viewers? Because that was the point of the segment.
Yes, I'm trying
I have
to
not
go
looked
through
yet.
some of them because you have so many stories. You do have us. Oh, who was that from, Brian? I saw that earlier.
I figured that was, I literally thought
Who
Brian
asked
Matthews,
that?
our director, was asking that himself.
No.
He's reading. Brian just said, do we have to do Sunrise Extra or do we want to?
Oh, wait, yes. So that is
Both.
Brenda Schellenberg.
Both.
Do you have to do Sunrise Extra or do you want to? It depends on the day. Sometimes
Yeah.
we want to, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
They would like us to.
Yeah.
Do we have to?
Sometimes we know the
No.
topic is COVID and masks, and we're like, oh.
Yeah. Sometimes it's definitely, it's hard to
Come up with.
talk about some stuff, or it's hard to come up with topics. You know, there's really nothing that kind of like sticks out in the day. Some days, you know, it's super newsy, and some days it's whatever this is.
Right.
And
That's usually our barometer. If there's something, because we have a meeting at 3:45 every morning, and sometimes we don't have a topic, but we're like, let's just put it off until the 6 a.m. hour. And if something sparks conversation among us, then sometimes we think that's a great Sunrise Extra topic. Because if we're talking about it, we know that you'll probably be talking about it too. And it can be completely random.
I would say that we're in a bit, if I can be honest, and this is my observation, you guys can agree or disagree, I would say that we're in a bit of a Sunrise Extra slump lately.
funk?
Because I just feel like the ideas have become harder. If it was up to me, if I was completely in charge, we would never tackle the biggest topic of the day. To me, it's like we did 2 hours of news on TV from 5 to 7. This is extra. This is something else. This is something maybe lighter that we can sort of not have to go, oh, geez, this topic again. I would always keep it light and more conversational. But I also know that, you two, skew more hard news. And sometimes you want to say, no, this is the topic that people are talking about. Let's address it.
I
Yeah,
do
I
think
think
that
sometimes you have
sometimes,
to.
yeah, and the news is so abbreviated. You may have somebody who does a 2-minute package or less, and just a quick VO, which is like 30 or 40 seconds. So you don't really get to dive in. And I like to hear what they have to say about big topics too. I think that is the extra.
That makes
But
sense.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
somebody on YouTube, we got another question. Oh, we got a couple questions. Cherries and Berries PDX, hello. She says, what's the hardest part about living a newscaster lifestyle? Brenda, you take that one first.
I don't think I live a newscaster lifestyle. I mean,
Is it weird being recognized? I mean, not now, but
no,
at first.
because I think I was 23 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, WAFB TV the first time. That was my first TV job. And I do remember that the first time I was recognized, I had a little bit of a fight or flight moment because I was going into a mall and I was alone and I could see a man making a beeline for me straight across the parking lot with purpose. And it startled me because that had never happened before. And he goes, "Don't you work for Channel 9?" And I was like, oh my God, that was I'll never forget that
first
feeling.
time, yeah.
But then, I've grown up with that happening, so it's not weird to me at all. I always say that I feel like I have a friend everywhere I go because they're like, hey Brenda.
Yeah.
People who are with me even like my family, sometimes they'll make the quick exit. Like, because they're
Like-
like, they don't want to talk to us.
Yeah, your daughter's like, I'm
I
outta
turn
here,
around,
yeah.
I'm like, where's my family? Because they've like immediately left. But it was funny, we were in Winco the other day. Jaden was shopping with me, my daughter, and this woman, she goes, do you know how many times you are like, you'll walk off and I'll get two people come, was that Brenda Braxton? And then we found out one of our neighbors was in the store. We had not met before, and the woman comes up because the guy recognized me, and she was like, no, he always said, I thought he was obsessed with you because he goes, I think I just saw Brenda Braxton in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, Brenda Braxton's not in the neighborhood. And then he goes, I think that was her in Winco. She goes, you're obsessed. And then she goes, what would Brenda Braxton be doing in Winco? And I was like,
shopping?
There is, exactly. So, I mean, and then the point of that story was Jaden literally said the woman who came up to me was telling me things about myself because she had been such a long-time loyal viewer.
Oh, yeah.
She remembered when Jaden was born.
Wow.
And she said, I didn't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
So I think it's weirder for other people. I mean, if you see me out, you'll see me in my sweats and no makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
And
do
you'll run.
anything
You'll run.
differently than
No,
you.
I love when people, pandemic and everything, even with a mask and a hat on,
Yes.
come up and say, that drive me crazy you did. I'm like, whoa. And so I love that because it makes you feel like your work is being noticed. And so that is a rewarding feeling. And then bonus points when they give me another idea. I love that.
No
I would
kidding.
imagine if you were an artist and you hung up a painting, you'd want people to see it. So, like, we want people to see our work. That's the point of doing it. You want there to be an audience. I do remember a woman one time I was shopping in Safeway, and I'm in aisle 6 coming up, and she turns the corner and starts coming down aisle 6, and she goes, I knew I was with my kids, so I must have been talking to them in the aisle. And she goes, I knew you were in this aisle. She goes, I could hear your voice in the next aisle over. I knew it was you. So, like, she picked up on the voice, which I know a lot of people
That
sometimes.
exact thing has happened to me in the grocery. I started laughing, and somebody came around and be like, I knew it was you. I recognized your laugh.
Yeah,
That happened with Catherine and I when we were out on a date. And I was still doing a lot of radio with KXL
Oh,
at
right.
the time. And somebody said, are you so-and-so? I know that voice. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
voice.
That does help, like
Yeah.
having the TV and the radio stuff.
The only thing I thought when you said lifestyle was the wake-up call. To me, like, that is an
yes.
that's what I thought she meant by the question. Like, to me, that is the roughest part. And I just mentioned to you yesterday. Like, not such a difficult job or a hard job. There are many harder jobs out there, but the wake up at 2 o'clock or thereabouts is unnatural. And
It's awful.
You have to
I mean, it
adjust the
is.
back end of your day, ideally, to make that work. And either you do or you suffer. Either you adjust your early bedtime or you suffer through it the rest of the day. So that's the tough part for me.
Yeah,
anyways.
I agree.
And Christy, I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, but I think I know the answer. She was saying, does it bother you when people come up to say hello or to talk to you? And I have, honestly, the biggest sense of gratitude, literally, that because of viewers, that I get to do what I love to do. And if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be sitting here, and never lose sight of that at all. Never a problem.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. I always tell people, like, oh, they'll say sometimes, sorry to bother you, but I just want to say, I love watching your show. I said, that is never a bother.
Never a bother, yeah.
On the other end of it, you never have anyone come up to you and say, you suck. It's never happened. In all my years of doing this, I never had someone come and say, you stink. But they email that stuff all the time, or they post it on social media all the time. That's where that happens. So I ask you 3. Does that bother you? Does that get under your skin?
To get an email?
To get someone saying, I can't stand watching you, I don't like your work, you're, this, that, whatever the complaint is,
sure.
if it's directed towards you, does it bother you, or do you just brush it off?
No, I think it does bother you.
Oh, does it bother you?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, it would bother me. It
bit.
depends on what they say, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody has a legitimate.
Well, you're
something-
talking like it's never happened. Are you telling me you've never had a criticism? in
Here's
all your
what's
years of
probably
doing
the
this?
difference.
If it's literally is something personal that has nothing to do with my job, I won't answer.
No, that's BS.
Yeah.
At all.
And that's
your problem.
mostly, like, I don't get, like, this story was sucked, or, like, your anchoring is terrible, or something like that. But I used to get a lot more in Bend because I was young and I don't know what I was doing, but, like, appearance stuff. I hated that necklace. It was so terrible. Your lipstick color is this, or whatever,
Okay, I see.
Or remember that one I got? We were just talking about that yesterday, maybe. Some hate email that was quite lengthy.
Oh, yeah. Basically just questioning your intelligence.
Yes.
Shake your brain, you'll remember.
Really, really,
Yeah, really.
terrible.
It was just me.
And it was almost like so far this way that I was just like, wow. It was just kind
I
of
hope
like,
the rest of your day
wow.
goes better, man.
Where I
what you're like.
was quite sarcastic in a response back to her and just trying to kill her with fake kindness of thank you so much for your thoughtful and intuitive email into something something. And so I just wrote a bunch of blah blah blah. And then she wrote back another diatribe full of grammatically incorrect misspellings, which I always appreciate. But those kinds of things, it's just like, ugh, you gotta, that does not matter.
I won't even waste my energy
Yeah,
on that.
but sometimes it's just like,
Yeah, I know, but
no, meeting people, like generally, I would say nearly 100% of the time, it's a great positive experience, and
Yes.
you know, I don't mind it. But and you really do learn like how to. It's like, I mean, if we, you know, when we meet celebrities, like I get totally starstruck when I see a celebrity, almost to the point where I'm like, I'm just gonna like keep walking behind him and be a weirdo, which has happened before. But it really teaches you, like, you have to be, every encounter with somebody that's quote unquote, you know, well known or famous, like you remember that and you tell that story whenever you think of it, you know, to other people. And that is who you are in that 5 seconds, you know, of someone meeting us or me meeting a celebrity, of like how they interacted with me. Oh, they're a jerk, or oh, they were so great. And then you like tell, you know, if a show comes on, I met that person, they were awesome. And so you have to watch how you act. People remember that.
Which is kind of annoying because it doesn't allow you the
well, I mean,
space
don't
to
be
be human or to have a
Sure.
bad day. I mean, come on, we all have bad
Sure,
days.
but that person isn't, you know,
Yeah.
they're meeting you for this one window and.
But I remember that. I mean, when I was in high school, I was a huge REO Speedwagon fan. And all these years later, they were at the amphitheater in wherever that is, Clark County, and we got to go backstage. Well, not backstage at the amphitheater, it's another building, whatever. Their manager, whoever that person was, maybe it wasn't their manager, was so horrific that it honestly changed my opinion. I'm like, that is just awful. I mean, I get it. It was like that one thing that you were looking forward to, and I thought, ew.
Yeah, and you remember that forever. And it does, it changes your mind. Think this was fun, you guys.
Yes.
I don't know what we got accomplished, but it was fun.
Just chit-chatting.
Yeah, we'll do it every once in a while. We can't think of another topic.
Tune back in
See you
later.
tomorrow. Bye.